Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and War Games. In this video we are covering the recently announced February release for Dystopian Wars. I was about to say for War Cradle, but it's only for Dystopian Wars as we kind of have the habit now. And what a release. Like there are some stuff that we were expecting and one that had been leaked the artwork, but it was like what the hell is that? And it is the Keon Battlefleet set. And I'm really excited. Let's cover all of this, what those are, what can we expect from the Keon. I don't have the latest RBAT yet. I have no idea of what it's going to do. We can talk a little bit more about the Honorable Eclipse Company and the Crimson Leagues, which are finally released, and it's not exactly the same things that you get from the Fortune and Glory box set, so interesting to talk about it. And finally, the Indian Raj Frontline Squadrons. And I will not be able to show you the data sheet or anything, but we've had the beta version of the Orbat, and so I can at least tell you approximately what they play as and what is the role of each ship. So without further ado, let's have a look at what you get. And we start with the Keon Battlefleet set, and what a set! I mean, just look at the size of this ship. I don't know if it's to scale or if it was, I don't know, Photoshop or something, but if it is the real scale, and it does appear to be, this thing is massive. It's massive. It's not a Mass 3 for sure, it's at least a Mass 4, and it does look to be as big as the Archimedes or the Nansen for the Covenant. If you think of human scale, like this looks like a piloting bubble like we see for the small submarines, but you got to understand that this is the view that you could have for a human or for a ship captain. This is like a command room that you could see overseeing the whole world. I can imagine like elevators and like huge 3D world maps being projected as holograms in there. This thing is absolutely massive and I love it. And I will just, because we're going to talk mostly about the Keon, show you how it looks painted. Amazing work from Daz, and oh my god, like just look how it looks. We don't know the rules yet. We can see that it has, from what we can see, at least 8 etheric lances. I'm not sure if they're going to count what you see from the bottom as if we're going to get something like 12, or if we're only going to see those at the surface. 12 etheric lances or 16 are going to be absolutely insane, but even 8, it's already going to be an incredible firepower at medium and especially point blank range. It is called an ambush ship, also the same for the new variant of the submarines that we see there. So maybe it will have some rules to deep strike. We'll see if it does. If it does, it's going to be amazing. It's probably going to have some embarked units, the same as we've seen, for example, for the LXAF for the Commonwealth. Again, we will have to wait and see. But if it can embark some Praxillas, for example, anywhere, and then they can deploy and move and ram especially, this could be really be the thing, the ship that makes the Praxilla, which we are not very much loved, finally be worth it. So really excited to see the rules that we will have here. Maybe finally a delivery system for the Praxillas, and it looks like a brilliant ship on its own right. We'll have to see what are the defensive profile of this guy, but first of all, it's going to be for sure submerged, so it's already good defenses. Hopefully, it's going to have at least as well the Luminiferous defenses that almost every single Covenant ship has, and if it does, it's really going to be tough and very fun to play as. We have the Euripides ambush submarine, Euripide, and this looks like, I mean, I'm not sure what it is. It's not a drill, and it would be weird because the Praxilla already has a drill. It looks like a mouth that could open and deliver some troops, I would say. So maybe this is a landing vessel. There are not so many landing vessels for the Covenant. We have one of the flying aircraft, I think it's the Onebu, that has this rule, or the other one, I forgot the name. And this looks like a landing vessel. So it could be a ship with a very good fray value. Maybe it even has the devastating assault that some of the Covenant ships have, and that would really give a role that we don't see that often. A boarding submarine, first of all, the concept is amazing. It's weird enough to work for the Covenant, and I'm really excited to see what it does. Again, if the Keon can indeed transport some units, and it can transport both Praxillas and Euripides, it's going to be hard to choose because, damn, like both options seem very interesting. But again, we'll have to wait and see. can also, as always, build them as the shore value of the Diogenes. Very, very efficient submarines at long range, extreme range actually. No, long range only, but very, very good and cheap and very lethal for its price. And then the Praxilla that I've been talking about, the one with the giant drill that always die before it reaches the target if you go through the center. It needed strategic reserve, but if there is a delivery system through transport, they could really make this little guy see more play on the table. You also have two of the support cruisers, and that is quite good because there are some very, very good support cruisers for the Covenant. The Plinius, which is an aircraft carrier, but also quite a good combat ship as well. So it's probably the only regular carrier, well, regular, let's say, it's the only basic carrier that is worth it. I would say always. The other faction, it's always a bit fragile and not a lot of firepower. This guy is expensive, the Plinius, but it's always very good to have one or two, always. You can also have the Claudius, which makes some shenanigans. It's very cheap and you can basically transform it into another ship. I will not go too much in detail, but it's fine to have it. It can also be a very cheap activation. You have the Quintillion, which is lovely. It's been nerfed, luckily, because it was crazy, but it's extreme range blast firepower. And many times you hear me saying like, yeah, well, it's okay because there is almost no extreme range blast weapons in the game, so you can pack your mass ones, whatever. This guy is one of the exception. He can put an insane amount of pressure on your opponent at extreme range, and you do need some combo to make it work perfectly, but a bit less than the Washington missile cruiser for the Union. It's much more independent to have a Quintillion. And this guy is just so powerful, like it's insane. First of all, the style is amazing. It launches what is called cyclonic missiles, and well, what more do you want? Like this thing is so cool. On its own, you can put a generator in the back. It's like really, really powerful. So nothing to say there. And finally, another one of my favorites, the Tacitus cruiser. Very good combat cruiser. It is considered a support cruiser, but still extremely efficient at point blank. Amazing boarding, good defense values. I mean, if you don't know what to build with any of the other options, build two Tacitus. It's always going to be worth it. These guys did also get a little bit of a nerf recently, but they're still very tough and very efficient. Like they shoot good, they are relatively resilient, especially if you put some good defenses, like a good generator in the rear. And once they get at point blank, they will just destroy something at boarding. But they also have good weapons, so they can shoot also efficiently at closing. And you also get some SRS token for the Plinius, of course, and some Physeteer tokens. And this makes me say that the Chione will be part of the Physeteer exploratory fleet. I forgot their exact name, but the fleet that allows you to pay in your list building for an ambush that happens turn one. It makes sense, fluff-wise. Makes me wonder if the Keon will have some whale sending capacity. If it does, I'm afraid it will invalidate completely the Descartes. We'll have to see the exact rules. But yeah, it's already interesting. It's almost certain that it will be in this ambush battle fleet. It will be an option. And we'll have to see if it can send turn after turn as well some Physeteers. Overall, you do get a lot of value. It's like a middle-sized Battlefleet set, but I'm waiting for the price because the Keon looks like an absolute massive piece of resin. It looks huge, so I think it will be a little bit more expensive than most of the basic sets, like for example, I don't know, the Borodino Battlefleet set. And but yeah, the design is amazing. All the units are gonna be good because even, let's say, even if the Keon is terrible, it's not a transport, it doesn't have Jeep Strike, whatever, just as a standard battleship because the rules are a bit lazy. I don't think it will be, but if it is, you're still gonna have 6 submarines that you will be able to build as Diogenes, amazing ships, and those supports, like, you will never have enough. They are probably the best sprues for the Covenant, so having 2 support sprues is already great, even if the Keon doesn't have all the combo possibilities that we just thought about. Very excited for this release. Expect an unboxing as soon as we receive it. It will be the first one that we unbox and publish, and of course a little, quite a big what to build, or probably a tactica to say how to play this guy. Second release, the Honorable Eclipse Company. Honorable Eclipse Company, I don't know how to pronounce this word, honorable. This is underwhelming, I will have to say. The miniatures are lovely, but the Union airships right now are probably the worst units in the games for their point cost. They do almost nothing. The Mass 3 ships are very bad, and the Mass 2s as well. Most of them are really underwhelming. Some of them can be fine, they can suffer comparison, especially the Ranger, the Mass 2 that can be an aircraft carrier if I can find it. The Ranger is a good airship, so you can absolutely have it. It's extremely fragile like all of them, but at least it's cheap. 100 points for a carrier is fine, but be careful how to hide. But for example, the Ticonderoga is like so underwhelming. You pay so much and it does almost nothing. Same for the Mass 3s. They have Mass 2 weaponries on a Mass 3 frame and they do almost nothing. Like they will have two small rocket batteries. What do you do with it? Two flak broadsides, like hey, and then a little gun. Like really underwhelming. This makes me say that they will have a rework soon because they cannot stay like this. Like everybody agrees that they are extremely underpowered right now or overcosted for what they do, and expect significant change on them or now, like very soon. But for now, I can tell you if you like the miniatures, get the box, of course, but I will not explain to you the rules of each and every variant because I really think they will change in their core soon because they're just really bad, like really, really bad. It's quite rare that there's things like this in Dystopian Wars. It's usually quite balanced, but those like nothing to save. Except the one thing is a combo. You can put the one thing you can do if you are a competitive gamer. This is not a friendly move, but if you're competitive, you can build those the steward and the custodian, which is this guy, which project a shield of equivalent of a shield generator, even from S1s. And then you're like, yeah, but sure, but the Union doesn't have such good mass ones. Yeah, but you know who has? The Imperium. So you can absolutely put a custodian and 3 stewards across the board to really cover the whole table. And then you put all the Totem destroyers and all the Munich aerial destroyers of the Imperium that will then have a shield generator, -2 dices each time they get attacked. And I can tell you, your opponent will play this game once, and the next time you bring this on the table, you will be like, you know what, I'm not playing. But at least, like, if you're a competitive gamer, this is probably one of the strongest lists you can put right now, because those ships, the Custodian and the Stewards, will do nothing. All the heavy lifting will be at the Imperium, but they're already so powerful, these Imperium ships. All they need is a little mercenary that gives them the shield they miss, and then they just go like, pff, good luck handling a horde of Munichs and Totems that also have -2 shield generator. Good luck. The Bogota is fine, also underwhelming, but a bit less worse than the Zeppelins. So if you like it, you can absolutely build it whichever variant you want. Plus, it looks good. And then we go for the Crimson League battle fleet, and this I'm gonna be a little bit less salty than I was for the Union. I'm salty for the Union because I wish they were good. I really like the design, and I wish I could play them. The Crimson League are better. They are quite better. There are few variants, and there is debates on the discords and within our community in France as well about which variant is the best for each ship. And this means that it's not like everybody agrees they're bad. They are quite efficient. What I'm going to tell you is my opinion, but all the variants are quite good. The ships look amazing. I mean, just look at that. And that's already a good reason to have this. If you have some Sultanate, some Turkish, it's a very good complement. If you have any Sultanate faction, you can buy this with your eyes closed. It will complement you good. And even if you don't, they can be mercenaries. So if you are in need of some aerial forces that do have some punch and can be fast glass cannons, those can really be right up your alley. One thing that I want to point out is that while the Honorable Eclipse Company, if I scroll back, is exactly what you had in Fortune and Glory, okay, what you have in the Crimson League battle fleet is not the same because you have one more sprue. So probably it'll be a little bit more expensive, but this means you have still the flagship, very good. You have 4 Master Cruisers, 4 of these Alsacer, and 4 of the Irka Skybarks. And that is quite good. I'm very happy about this because if you have Fortune and Glory and then you buy this on top, you can make a full aerial fleet and it will combo very well. For example, those little ships, the Skybark, they can be attached from 2 to 3. And it means you will be able to attach 3 of those to, for example, your big pack of Ausberry that we'll see in a minute, or you can attach them to your flagships. And then you will have 2 other little squadrons, so those 2 and those 2, that you will get from this box that can be attached to other units, either your second flagship, either another little pack of cruisers. So really, I really enjoy this box, and I think it is amazing. Like I will for sure get it, and one way or another. And you can expect soon. We record early February. Almost full aerial Sultanate Egyptians battle fleets against some East India Trade Company. So expect this soon. But even later on, when we'll have um, this new box, you can expect a full Turkish aerial battle report against whomever, but it's going to be really this time a full aerial because come on, we cannot go away from there. We cannot shy away from the opportunity of making this kind of battle report. I will go fast over those. Two ships. You have the Lyceum, the aerial dreadnought, a good aerial cruiser, quite cheaper than the name variant, but you cannot buy twice the name variant, so you will have probably a Lyceum if you want a full fleet of Turkish aerial of the Crimson League. And I would always build for the Lyceum the upgrade with the aircraft that transforms it in an aircraft carrier. You and then keep it all the way to the back. You will have soon the what to build of the Crimson League. Like when I say soon, it's like soon-ish. I will probably release it a little bit in advance than the release of those boxes. But yeah, it's gonna be really coherent with those, and you can listen to this and know if you want it or not. That's why I don't go too much in detail. But the Lyceum is a good ship. You have the Badrul Badur, which is the named version with the shield generator mass 3, with lots of upgrade. I think it has focused gunnery on top. It has devils on locks, that's for sure. So a very, very significant upgrade. And just a little tip, like as you can see, this part, the command center changes depending on which variant. So be careful. I know lots of people didn't see this, but basically this is the variant with the shield generator. So pay attention to this. Both variants, the Lyceum and the Badrul Badur, are both very good, and you will love them. Then we go to the mass 2s. The Nasser, I know some people say it is the most efficient variant that you can get. It's a glass cannon, fast, agile, aerial, but fragile, so be careful. It it is very efficient from what I've seen of the debates with a full rocket loadout. I can hear that. I like the Nasser, it looks good. Following a little mistake, that's how our painter built them. So I will probably have to proxy mine, but maybe I will try the Nasser one day if I'm convinced that indeed it is the most efficient. But anyway, it's a very cool looking ship. The ones that I really love are the Ausbiri Sky Lancers, because it does have torpedoes that you can see here and three little gun like weapons that you can have for free as gun batteries, which means the Ausbiri can combo very well with the attached ships that you can put, the Skybar, the Alsaker. You can then make one big pack that will have a lot of gun batteries for a closing range firepower. Very interesting. And also some long range, like very long range torpedo spams. So it makes it relatively cheap and very efficient at many range unit that you will absolutely love. And plus, I love the design as well. Well, all of them look amazing. I mean, the Muharib as well is absolutely looking amazing. This is a landing vessel, so quite interesting. I can imagine little guys jumping from there, or maybe a little helicopter or something going out from there. This ship has a very good fray value. It's very good at boarding. It has skydive, I think is the name, which means you can drop it turn one late in the deployment, very close to the opponent at the same time as the vanguard move. So it's very hard for your opponent to cover this. And I think it can become skimming at this moment, which means that you can really hide it and try to make a very strong first attack inside the enemy, like making a very strong boarding action from the beginning, and also to drop some troops on islands very early in the game. So good ship overall, very cheap, and yeah, if you do like the idea of alpha striking with your glass cannons, they are very good. Be careful, they will not survive the turn one if you use them like this, ever. The Hirka Skycutter is a good mass one. It's an equivalent to a destroyer, let's say. Good weapons. It has broadside, which is not insignificant, like light broadside, but it's fragile, fast, and again, very good glass cannon. Looks quite cute. Like I do like the design, and well costed. I will talk more about it in the dedicated what to build video, but a good ship that you will get there, and you will be happy to have four of them. And then one of my favorites, the Alsaker Skybark. And this, like, first of all, it looks amazing. I've just recently received mine, and they look crazy in person. and expect a ton of them in every battle report where I will have my Crimson Leagues, because they can be attached unit. They combo well with the Battle Bado, for example, to combine all the particle beamers and all their laser like etheric lances. They combo well with their torpedoes, with the Ausbiri. They are just a good ship. They have corvette duty as well. I mean, this is an amazing unit, either in a little pack of its own as a fast, very fragile but fast flanker, or I think it's even better if you use them as attached units left and right to support your big activations. Anyway, there are no bad ways to use them. They are well costed, they look amazing, and yeah, you will be very happy again to have 4 of those. Overall, I'm very excited about this battle fleet. Not only they are much more fun to play than the Honorable Eclipse Company, that's my opinion, they look even better. And yeah, I just cannot wait to see more of the Sultanate ships, because well, they are some of the best looking ships in my opinion, and they're starting slowly to become one of my favorite like top 2 or top 3 factions. And yeah, they're just so much fun to play with such beautiful ships. And finally, what you will get is the Indian Raj Frontline squadrons. And so you get 2 more Mass 2 cruisers, 2 more of these Mass 2 platforms. We'll talk what they do in a minute. 4 more escorts, these adorable escorts, and of course the little landing tokens. If you haven't seen yet, we have an unboxing of the Ganj Battlefleet set that has been released a couple of days ago, and you will be able to see the sprue exactly to see which turrets you get, etc. etc. What I will tell you now is I cannot go too much in detail, so we'll try to go fast on this. It's about how each of the cruisers play, because there was for the Ganj, the battle cruiser, the Ganj, that was fine, and then there were like it was a basic battle cruiser, not like exactly what you will expect. And then a repair version that I said, which is not a repair version, it's a logistical support ship, which makes it even better in my opinion. And both flagships are very good, but they will not be the heart of your Indian list. The real power of the Indians come from their cruiser. As you can see, there is 10,000 variants, and so it might be good if you want to buy either the Ganj plus the Frontline. It's good to know what you're getting into. So again, I got the order from from the War Cradle, not to spoil, not to show you any data sheet until the Orbat is released. But what I can tell you is that the Nagaraja that you can see here, as the look shows, it's very good at every single range. I can confirm this is a majestic gun battery that comes by default on the ship. Those are indeed torpedo turrets. I cannot say much more about it, but they're not the torpedo turrets you remember. The ship is very good at all range, and if you are a crown player, you know that you need to specialize either in long extreme range, either for brawling. I cannot tell you the data sheet, but I can tell you this is the most polyvalent cruiser you will have for the Indians, also the most expensive as you can guess because it has all the options, and it's good at every range, which makes it a really good purchase if you want to add some versatility into your fleets. Then you will have all the rest. You will have the Indus, which, spoiler, will be the ship that will be your bread and butter for the Indian. It is very strong, very aggressively costed, like really, and it's very good. It knows what it wants to do. It does it very well for a very good price. Expect to see a lot of Indus, and like I will not give you purchasing advice, but trust me, you will want a lot of Indian cruisers. So if you are crown players and you're like, yeah, should I get more Indian cruisers? Should I get this frontline sprue extra or not? I'm telling you, yes, you will want as many Indus plus another ship that goes with it as possible. So buy it once, buy it twice. You will really trust me on this. Want to have 5 or 6 Indian cruisers, the Mass 2s. They're really good, and there are so many fun combos that you can get. So the Indus, expect to see a lot of those on the table, and yeah, just so good. The Godavari is a little bit weaker than the Nagaraja, but again, a very good versatile ship with some good weaponries left and right, some good torpedoes, everything is good. It is a landing vessel. I don't know where you can see it on the miniature, but it is. And that's why you have some landing tokens, so more landing tokens is always good. And it can be attached with a Devaki, or the other way around. The Devaki that you can see here can be attached to this bigger cruiser, and this is really the combo that I think it looks so good. You will have the small monitors, littoral monitors, alongside the littoral cruiser. You can make one big pack of 6 ships, as the rules are in beta right now. It still can change. But you can really, if you have 6 cruisers, you can make 3 Godavaris and 3 Evakis, and that's gonna be such a fun, massive unit to play, and that is for sure one of the way to play the list, and it will be so fun. Another way is to get the Shanura, for example, which can be attached to any Indian unit and can repair stuff around. This is indeed a repair crane. As you can see, it does have quite a few weapons and stuff, and load out some torpedoes. Okay, great. Left and right. Those ships have Guardian 2, as you can see on the models. Great. And the Shanura can then be attached, for example, with the Indus, which means you can make a big pack of Indus. Little teaser spoiler, you can put them in squadrons of 4, the Indus, already very good and a very good reason to buy this Indian Raj Frontline squadron. But you can also attach a Shanura to have a big pack of 5 cruisers, and that's going to be just amazing. You can absolutely put your Gange that you will buy and attach one Shanura, and then put another Shanura somehow on the Indus big large pack. I'm not sure it works in terms of how many units you can put in your battle fleet, but come on, that's going to be such a fun way to play. So that's how the Indians play. They like to have cheap, focused ships, and that's how we can imagine it. But also, they like to have these huge packs, kind of like in the Russian way, I would say, with a ton, and I mean a ton of ships activating together, up to 5 or 6 ships all at once, like large cruisers with all the escorts and stuff. This is going to look like an absolute massive horde of ships, and they're good. They're good. I cannot tease you anything about the Crown Orbit, except that they did get a buff, of course, quite a few strong buffs because they were one of the weaker factions right now. So worry not about it. The buff is coming. And the Indians, I was a bit not sure about how they would play. The Crown already knows what I want to do. Let me tell you this: the Indians are a very good complement to the Crown, and you can expect to see a lot of them on the table because they do look fun to play. And finally, the platforms. You don't expect to spam them too much. The one thing that I can say is this is not a Halifax shell generator as we've been thinking. It's just the platform has Guardian 2, which does lean in the playstyle of the Crown because they are quite cheap and it can give you a lot of little Guardian 2 um, sources, and then you can just put them left and right and really make this kind of like wall of defenses around your Windsor when the Windsor will be announced and released. And yeah, I can really see this being one way to lean into the playstyle of the Crown. And of course, you get some escort tokens, absolutely adorable, will go great with any Crown ship that you own, and the adorable Mark 1 or Mark 5 British tanks of World War I as landing tokens. I don't usually push people to buy. I'm not like, yeah, buy this, absolutely, it's amazing, but what I will really say is if you buy the Gange, either buy it twice or prepare to buy also the Indian Raj Frontline Squadrons once or twice, because the Indian cruisers are so fun. They do look quite cute actually, and you will want to have, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them, like at some point. They are more of a horde army, so that is my recommendation. Be Don't be afraid of buying 2 times the Gange Battlefleet set because you have 2 variants of the flagship to get, and then to buy a third box, which will be the Frontline sprue, because then you can really make this very fun combo, having on one side 4 Indus and a repair ship, and on the other side your Gange with another repair ship, and then your last battleship that will stay in the back and provide logistical support. That is absolutely a legit way to play the Indians. There's going to be quite a lot of points. I think it's going to be more than 1,000 by then, but it is going to be looking good on the table. A great and fun 1,000 points list to play with or to play against. So again, great work from War Cradle on designing the gameplay of the Indians. That is going to be it for today. Thank you for having watched until the end. Remember, if you like this type of content, to give us a thumbs up. It really helps for the algorithm. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you are not subscribed yet, because as you can see in 2024, we kind of like pushed up the levers and we are making quite a lot of videos. So do subscribe so you will not miss them, and you will be able every time to put a little comment. And why is that? Because first of all, it makes us very happy every time you put a comment, and also every time you put a comment, you gain a chance to win an entire battle fleet. Every few months, we make a little contest where you can win 2 battle fleets, like one or the other, and we change quite regularly. Right now it's Alliance and Crown until February, and then from February until the summer there's gonna be two other massive fleets to win. So subscribe and put comments every time so you will not miss the chance. Thank you very much. Until the next video, remember to take care of yourself and those around you. And of course, remember to keep spreading the love. Bye.